it's good to see, and it is good to see. I mean, I worry what comes next. I mean, is it Shabana Mahmood? Are we finally going to become a Muslim-governed country? In fact, were we already one with Rishi? I don't know, was he a Hindu? Whatever he was, he definitely wasn't fucking British, and definitely not English. I didn't even try and tell us he was English now. I mean, fuck me. Talk about conditioning and cognitive dissonance. But honestly, you know what I'm gunning for just peak clown world and peak possibility of awakening. Obviously, it's not the England I want to see, but coming from where we're at now, I honestly think the most hilarious, and obviously there's another part of me that can see that it's absolutely not hilarious, but you know, this is where we're at with clown world. Might as well just fucking allow it to get to its peak so people can actually see it. If David Lammy replaces Keir Starmer, we're going to get to a situation where we have a Nigerian in Kemi, is it Badenoch, the Conservative lead puppet, arguing with a Ghanaian in David Lammy, the Labour lead puppet, over the future of England. I mean, could it get any more fucking diversity as our strength than that? We've actually got to a point where the two main politicians vying for power, obviously there's also a controlled puppet Farage, but you know, of the traditional parties, where a Ghanaian is now arguing in the House of Commons in England with a Nigerian about the future of the UK. Peak clown world. Anyway, it looks like they've decided that Farage isn't enough of a distraction, isn't enough of a powerful, controlled opposition. It seems to me that they want to create the pendulum swing now, where we swing massively towards a right-wing government that will be very authoritarian and will normalise, just like what's happening in America, you know, police agents without uniform, without identification, that can just take people off the street whenever they want. And of course, on the surface of it, I'm very pro-ICE, I'm very pro-migration, and this is why it's so clever, because they've deliberately fucked up the West so much with migrants and many other things, but let's just focus on the migrants, that the only way to rectify it is to allow an authoritarianism that we would never be comfortable with. You know, we would never be comfortable with unidentified police officers that have the power to kidnap people on the street. I mean, that is that's full-on Stalin, that's full-on communism, full-on authoritarian dictator government. But they've created a situation where we're all calling that in now, and for me it's very clear that that's what these right-wing puppets are giving to us. Trump, I'm not even going to include Farage, he's not right-wing, he's a complete centrist fucking small hat wet wipe. Whereas Lowe looks very convincing, and I can totally see why people hate this message and unsubscribe over this message, because, you know, it's nice to live with hope. And, you know, I listened to Rupert Lowe's launch of Restore Britain, and wow, I mean, it gave me tingles, but it's sickening, because I know, you know, I know that nobody gets into that position without being part of a club. Nation after nation, we are conquering Enslave. There's just no way. Absolutely devastating, really. And there is a gulf of difference between Farage and Lowe. I mean, you know, any subject, I could show you examples of why people are fucking loving Rupert Lowe, and understandably so. Here's the two of them talking about vaccines. Just a stark difference.
But you know something? It was Tony Blair that made those arguments about the vaccine. It was Tony Blair that said, give one jab to each person, not two, and we can then get a bigger part of the population dealt with quickly. It was Tony Blair advocating not hundreds, but thousands of centres where we can get people to get the vaccine. I mean, goodness me, we can even be doing it at motorway service stations. We were doing it everywhere. We should, at a time of national emergency, use the standing army that we've got as there. If ever there was a moment to call for a government of all the talents, much as I don't like Tony Blair, he does get things done. He does command respect. He is seriously bright. Why not get people like Tony Blair involved to help us solve a national crisis? We have absolutely got to up the pace of vaccinations.
Wow, that's so bad, isn't it? So bad. Using the army to forcibly inject people with untested substances, which we have now seen the statistics around and are extremely dangerous, to say the least. And bigging up the biggest demon that's ever been in UK politics. And when I say demon, I mean demon, actual demon, in Tony Blair. Wow. Yeah, no wonder that's not going to work as the deep state fake saviour. This one will, though.
Personally, I'm not jabbed. I wouldn't touch those experimental mRNA and gene therapy experiments, which I think, as you know, there's a lot of concern about it from quite a lot of medical people now. Now we've got, in the States, we've got Kennedy. He's going to be exposing a lot of this stuff, as I think Donald Trump is keen to see. So
I got them. I got the vaccine.
Let's just get the truth. I mean, I've got friends who've had myocarditis, you know, who have had blood clots, who've had all sorts of problems as a result of the COVID jab, strokes.
I still believe in vaccinations, but
You know, it's really convincing, isn't it? And he really feels like one of us, but he hasn't mentioned, I don't think he's mentioned climate change yet. And, you know, that's the real agenda behind that. I don't think he's mentioned the skies and the lines in the skies, has he? Definitely hasn't mentioned any of the fundamental lies, like, you know, the shape of the earth, the fact that that's used to take us away from our divinity and a creator, and to just believe that life is a coincidence and completely meaningless. As he mentioned, all the poisons in our food. You know, what I'm trying to point at was these fundamental blocks. You know, the Gregorian calendar, the fact that the whole calendar's a lie and disconnects us from the seasons. There's these fundamental dehumanizing or despiritualizing tactics that are used against us. So he can come in and like move a deck chairs around the Titanic. You know, like they can sacrifice the meaningless, useful idiots they've been using, like migrants and scrubbers on welfare, like, you know, and it sounds like revolutionary because we've had such a fucking libtard way, but that's how they get you, you know. So he comes in and says, yeah, we're not doing this fucking welfare nonsense anymore, and we're going to get rid of the migrants, and everyone's like, whoa, that is fucking revolutionary. But actually it's nothing. It's just the useful idiots that they use while the pendulum swings to make it look like change is happening. Like when Trump came in and said men don't have vaginas and women don't have dicks, and everyone was like, whoa. And it was like, whoa, because for the fucking last 10 years we'd been told we were bigots if we didn't believe there were 72 genders and that men can play in women's sports and all this fucking nonsense. So it is massive, but it's just cheap, easy wins. Like, none of that matters to them. Like, all that matters to them is the deeper agenda, you know, getting digital ID in, getting an AI government in, poisoning us all, disconnecting us all from our third eye, making us all think that life is random and meaningless and that there's no fucking higher power and creator and there's no divinity in this world. You know, these are the fundamentals that will never ever change, no matter who is in power. And I get, like, many of you know that deep down, but you don't want to accept it because it's really nice to think that Rupert Lowe is about to save us all, but the only one that's going to save you is you. And, you know, maybe a community if you create a community of like-minded individuals. But yeah, it really is about the people taking back the power and the individuals stepping up and understanding their divinity and sovereignty and taking back the power. That's how I see it anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments. Big love, see you soon. Click a button.
Hold your ground! Hold your ground! Sons of England, of Scotland, of Ireland and Wales, my brothers! I see in your eyes the same despair that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of Britain fails, when we forsake our culture and break all bonds of heritage. But it is not this day, an hour of subjugation and fractured communities, when our civilization comes crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West!
I think that's proper fucking gander as well, that video, isn't it? Like, does it give you tingles, or do you just fucking see it as propaganda? And you could say, like, she's like the Rupert Lowe, wasn't she? Getting all the plebs to go to war for their death, march to their death. But also, it's kind of spine-tingly as well. But apparently this whole Amelia thing is a psyop, which, you know, obviously everything is now, but what can you do? Let me know. Let me know in the comments whether that gave you tingles or whether you just rolled your eyes or was like, oh, he's falling for it. Fuck you know. Oh, and a massive thanks to Sarah Ordas, who answered the call yesterday. Not a call, I didn't ask for any money. I just, you know, pointed out that if one does want to donate, and, you know, there's links down below to do that. These guys support me every month because they're just fucking brilliant. And I absolutely love and appreciate them. I also love and appreciate anyone who supports the video, because liking, hyping and commenting and of course sharing, the big one, really helps. So thank you to everyone who supports this channel. I really appreciate it, especially the ones that send me money. Massive love. Thank you so much. I really mean it. I'm just trying to be funny. I really appreciate it. Thanks guys.